So, Chris, wonderful that you can be with us. Thank you very much for joining us here in Mosbuild. Raven Russia is a multi-million-dollar company. You're a large international investor in Russia and operator of various real estate portfolio. How important for Raven Russia is sustainability and the fight against climate change? And could you tell us a bit about what you're doing in that area?
Yeah, certainly. Guy, thank you very much for the invitation. Very grateful to be here. Sadly, I can't be physically with you in person in Moscow, but this is the next best alternative. I think before I answer your questions, a bit of background, just for context as to who Raven Russia are in terms of our portfolio. We are a warehouse landlord. Originally, we were developing from 2005, and as the supply increased of good quality stock, we began building, not just building, but buying completed assets. To date, we've got 16 warehouse assets, roughly 1.9 million square meters. As I say, 16 assets, 10 of which are in Moscow, 3 in St. Petersburg, 1 each in Rostov, Nizhny Novgorod and Novosibirsk. We also have 3 office buildings in St. Petersburg, all let to a mix of indigenous Russian and international tenants. So, as you can imagine, ESG agenda, environmental, social governance agenda, is of increasing importance to all our stakeholders. And truth be told, actually, Raven has been involved actively in sustainability, looking at how we improve our sustainability for, I think, 8 years. So it's not a new thing for us. But fair to say, though, we haven't been perhaps advertising this or sharing the extent of our works as we possibly could and should do. But that is all about to change with the ESG reporting coming in and TCFD rules, etc., etc. So that will change. As I said, at 8 years, I think since 2013, we first commissioned a greenhouse gas emissions survey. We've been doing that annually every year. And that's these data points have allowed us to see where we are not doing so well and where we're doing a bit better. And it's allowed us to then to work up a longer term strategy for sustainability around that. And I think the best way to describe what we're doing is to just talk about the various aspects of our sustainability program and strategy at the moment. First up, we are changing, where possible, our electricity supplier to renewables. We've done one scheme at Noginsk last year, at 207,000 meters, and we've got a very ambitious program this year of a further 1 million square meters by the end of 2021. So that's renewables, that's with Rushydro. Clearly that's going to have a very positive effect on our greenhouse gas emissions in the future. Secondly, we have a solar farm. We're about to go on site in Rostov. If you look behind my right shoulder, you will see our Rostov scheme. We are going to build a solar plant up to 1 megawatt in 2 phases. First phase of the 0.5 megawatt, we plan to be producing power by this summer. That is not an insubstantial amount of money. It's quite a big investment, but we feel it's the right thing to do. Unfortunately, given the climate and the temp in Russia, it's about the only location we have of all our assets that readily lends itself to a solar power farm. As I say, substantial investment on our part, but it will pay back, and we've looked into this in significant detail, and we think we'll have our money back within 10 years. So we're very excited about that.
Chris, will that go on the roof of your building, or will it go next to the building?
No, on the roof. In this case, it will go, and we've got a lot of it land adjacent. It's just under 2 hectares. We've got a lot of developable land adjacent to our scheme. That's great. But ideally, you know, if we were operating in a temperate climate, we would have all our roofs covered in solar panels. But we can't do it with snow. Yep. And not just snow, but it's the need to remove snow quickly. Sure. Yeah. It doesn't lend itself in Moscow and St. Petersburg, unfortunately. But there you go. What else have we been doing? We started in 2018. We started planning in 2017 as a planned program of component replacement across our portfolio. And in doing that, we were looking where possible to improve the portfolio, improve the quality of the portfolio, so it maintained its competitiveness with our peers. As part of that, we were looking to replace components with energy efficient equivalents where possible, and we've done that very successfully, particularly around LED lighting, much more efficient. We've done 950,000 meters so far. We've got a further 500,000 planned in the next 5 years. And also roof membranes, where we're replacing with improved thermal efficiency. We've done 170,000 square meters with a further 600,000 planned for the next 5 years. So it's a rolling program, constantly, hopefully improving the portfolio, but also reducing our energy costs, which is heat and light are where we spend all our money in terms of our OPEX, basically. What else are we doing? We're making changes to our water treatment, so we've got much cleaner water going to the public sewers. Quite recently, in the last 2 years, we've had so many approaches from our Russian retailer tenants looking for multi-temperature space. These are they're very expensive fit outs. So we're engaging with these tenants on energy consumption, how we reduce that, mitigate that as much as possible. We're looking at useful lifespans. We're looking at types of components, renewables, end-of-life recycling, and waste management. So that's, again, part of our longer-term strategy, because we see that continuing for the next several years. Recycling of waste is another huge area. We're doing that in our own offices, be it in Limassol, where I am just now, in Guernsey, and in Moscow. But the big piece here is engaging with tenants again. I mean, we don't have that control, because they pay us a rent. It's their property. They do it, and they carry on their own business as they see fit. But a lot of these bigger companies have their own ESG published strategies, and where we see that, we can hopefully engage with these tenants and work out on a synergy and a combined strategy for waste management. So that's what we're going to do. What else are we doing? The GRESB, I imagine everyone will know the Global Real Estate Sustainability Benchmark. We undertook a gap analysis late last year. We're just finalising the report in the hope that we can actually sort of commission and publish come, I think, early 2022 is the plan there. Similarly, we are reviewing the portfolio's accreditation with BREEAM in use. So we're looking at instructing various parties to look at our BREEAM across the portfolio. To date, we have 2, Pushkino and Nova Riga, which I think got accredited good and very good respectively. So we've got 2, but we're thinking about BREEAM for the remainder of our portfolio. We're also, working in Russia. Those who work in Russia know it's quite a paper-intensive based business. We have 700 counterparties in Moscow alone, with which we are communicating monthly, and we are trialing electronic document management systems with these counterparties very successfully. So the hope is, and the aspiration is, we are going to save an awful lot of trees in the coming years. So that's another area where we're very, very busy, digitization. And electronic data interchange, much the same, but more internal. Biodiversity. We have 2 sort of projects ongoing at the moment, neither of which are big capital intensive, and neither of which are going to make a massive difference to our carbon overall greenhouse gas emissions. But they're very good PR, and we're going to use these to sort of promote our wider sustainability agenda. These relate to, we've got some bees in Rostov. We make honey, and we've got jars of Raven honey, which is lovely to take to meetings with prospective new tenants or with our funders. So there's a jar of Raven honey they can spread on their toast in the canteen. And we're also we've been releasing young sturgeon into the River Oka near our Lobnaya development, and that's something we're going to continue to do. And we're just pricing another, I think, up to 8,000 or 16,000 young sturgeon in the coming weeks and months. So that's what we're doing. Looking ahead, our sort of longer term plan is obviously to build a long-term strategic sustainability plan. Yeah, and as I said a few moments ago, a large number of our retail tenants, supermarket tenants, and banks, they have their own ESG publicized strategies. So we're going to engage with them and see, as I said, what synergies we can gain from working with them and having a combined impact. Just to finish off, one last point. I've been talking about what we've been doing in terms of sustainability. We're also very keen to play a leading role, in promoting sustainability into the wider commercial real estate business in Russia. And with that in mind, we proposed and are sponsoring the Green Brick, which will be given out at the 2021 Commercial Real Estate CRA Awards, which are actually next month in Moscow. The aim of the award is to create awareness, and it's promote understanding as well of the need to incorporate sustainability issues and concerns into design and into operational use and day-to-day use of all commercial property in Russia. So we're very excited about that. We're not involved in the judging. There is a judge panel being selected. They are meeting. I believe we have in excess of 10 submissions, and I understand very creative. I've not seen any of them, so we want to step out of that. It's none of our business. We'll let the panel do their job, but I'll be very interested to see who walks away with the green brick next month in Moscow.
Well, that's fantastic, okay. Chris. That's really exciting. Thank you very much for your contribution and for what you're doing in green building in Russia. I think you're giving a very clear message to the market. You're showing leadership, and you're real pioneers. I love also the bees. That's a fantastic one, and look forward to trying some of the honey with you when you're back in Moscow after the lockdown finishes. Yeah.
Deal.
All right. Deal. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Bye now.